When we reached 10K MRR, I thought, oh my gosh, I made it. But it felt like a beginning, just the beginning of everything.
This is Eugene. He's the kind of guy who dreamed about building a 5K MRR SaaS and accidentally built Outrank with Tibo Maker to 200K MRR. But it wasn't always that easy.
For 3 years, I tried to build something, and it was so embarrassing for myself. I couldn't even ship something.
He went through what you're probably going through right now.
I remember that feeling actually. It was so frustrating. You scrolling and see all of those 10K MRR. For me, a person who achieved 3K MRR was a hero, a god.
In this episode, you will learn why distribution isn't your problem right now and what actually is, the exact framework to build a magical product that users will pay for, how to find and pitch the perfect co-founder if you're stuck at $300 a month, and why setting smaller goals will get you faster to 200K MRR. So Eugene, you're the guy who wanted to make a SaaS and push it to 10,000 MRR. And then accidentally you built a 200,000 MRR SaaS. Like, first of all, how does it feel to have like such a tool now?
Yeah. So I always have those smaller goals in my mind. So actually, my first goal was 5K, not 10K. I remember having like this note in my Notion where I have build 5K MRR business, and I thought I will never do that actually. So I thought it's impossible. And then when we reached 10K MRR, I thought, oh my gosh, like I made it. But it felt like a beginning, just the beginning of everything. So we grew quickly to, I guess, 15K, and then we stopped a bit. And you know what? I realized that we grew there like in 2 months, and it was not enough. I thought it's too little already. So you can imagine I had this 5K MRR goal a few months ago, then we grew to 15K, and it felt like it's nothing, basically. It's nothing, just the beginning. It's crazy mind shift that I had. And we just doubled down and we tried to do everything to grow as fast as possible, as far as possible. We started a new feature back then, which was very, very big. And then in like 4 months, we were at 1 mil ARR. And that was funny because then when we were here, it wasn't enough either. It's crazy how mind shifting, right? It just, I don't know. It never felt anything like that, to be honest.
It's interesting because I went through this different step and I can understand how it feels. But the first step is like you wanted to make $5,000 a month. Why do you think you were thinking so small?
Mm. Yeah, because I didn't want to overwhelm myself. If I have the goal to reach 1 million ARR, for example, from the beginning, when I have 0, or I have 1K ARR, for example, it's overwhelming. Uh, I just didn't want to have goals that I can't achieve. And if I wouldn't achieve this 1 million ARR, for example, I would be unhappy, very unhappy. So that was my goal, to have a small goals, basically.
I think that's really smart. So, can you bring us back to the moment you realized that you didn't want to work for someone anymore? Because I remember you were a waiter at one point while studying. And I think there is a moment where you decided that you didn't want to work for someone anymore and you just wanted to build for yourself.
Yeah, yeah. So when I arrived to Poland, so I'm originally from Ukraine. I arrived and moved here when I was 17 years old. In a couple of months, After that, I started my first job. Um, and from there, I worked at different positions in different companies. I worked in a local shop, in restaurants, in KFC actually, in different positions, and also studied logistics. And I was lost. I was the lost kid, basically. I didn't know what I want to do. Logistics wasn't the thing that I was passionate about, es- especially when I saw that it's kind of a boring job for me. So I tried to figure out what I wanted to do in my life. And I remember um, being at my job, the last job that I had. Not actually a last job, but yeah, it was in restaurant, and I just almost cried. Like I didn't know. I just hated this thing. I was introvert, trying to be a waiter, which is very hard because you have to constantly talk to people. Um, so yeah, it was really hard, and I figured out that I will try programming because my friend was programmer back then already, and he studied programming in college. So, and he told me to try it out and see if it works for me. So I tried and tried to self teach myself HTML, CSS, front end stuff, JavaScript, and I remember sitting and studying, and it was hard. It was hard. First moments of me realizing that I should change everything and study something very new for me. It was first challenge that I had, probably the biggest one. So I teach myself for probably 1 year. Um, During that, I had very random different jobs that I tried to work on because I still needed money. Um, yeah, I have a lot of stories from one job, crazy stories actually. But it's not for this podcast. But yeah, so I studied I studied HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and one moment I realized that I'm good enough to actually have a job. So I started applying for different jobs, and it was pre-COVID, just pre-COVID market, 2019. Um, and I landed one. I have to move to different city, and that's how my programming story started. So I started to work at IT basically as a developer, as front end developer. But I always had somewhere in my mind that I want to have something mine. I wanted to have a business. Um, that always was somewhere, and I always tried to do something after my 9 to 5. Always some sort of small projects that I thought in future might go into something bigger. So so I worked in first company for 1 year, um, and then I thought I wasn't really appreciated there enough. So I remember having this moment where I grabbed the piece of paper and wrote, but it was different piece of paper that you think of. I wrote change job, just change job. It was just piece of paper, change job, and in 1 month after this written note, I landed a different job, a new one, much better one. So I realized how important to push yourself and how negative emotions can change everything, actually. Negative emotions are very powerful for your motivation as well. So I landed that different job, and it was very comfortable. And I almost thought that okay, maybe I will just work at jobs and it will be fine. But in 1 year, I got bored, obviously. I just couldn't really, it was too boring for me. So I figured out that I want to start something. I started writing on Twitter, on X, and I started to grow an audience of developers. I posted about JavaScript, HTML, CSS, different tricks, different project ideas, tweets about how to land the developer job, stuff like that. So that actually how I grew my audience to, I believe, 5K on X. And actually, in the same time, I found indie hacker community, and I thought it's even cooler. It's amazing, actually. I saw all of those bigger guys, and back then I also found Tibo. So that's where when the story started. Actually, it was 2021. And he was building Tweet Hunter back then. So I thought, damn, that's a very cool application. That's very interesting app. I want to try it. And I was his target audience for this app because I was creating the content on X. So I used Tweet Hunter to write tweets. And that's when I DM'd Tibo about different bugs, about different features that I wanted to add to Tweet Hunter. So I was his customer, basically. We talked about the application a bit in DMs, and yeah, that's how I met Tibo, basically online. But going forward, yeah, go ahead.
I wanted
You
to
are,
ask, like,
yeah,
so you started to build back in the day, but like I think it's really important what you say right now about Tibo is that
yeah,
some people will say, "Oh, you're lucky to work with Tibo," but they don't understand like what happened is that you actually helped Tibo a long time ago, and you didn't ask anything until one day something happened, and we'll talk about it later. But I think that was a really important detail. Uh,
yeah,
you said that you failed for 3 years trying to build something as an indie hacker. And you say something, I remember scrolling Twitter, seeing all those MRR screenshots and thinking I will probably never make it. There is thousands and thousands of indie hackers nowadays who are feeling the same, who are thinking the same thing. What will you tell them?
um, yeah. Um, so actually, that's true. For 3 years, I tried to build something, and it was so embarrassing for myself. I was embarrassed of this, that I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even ship something back then. So after that, when I talked to Tibo, I tried to grow this audience. I figured out that maybe I want to build something similar to how Tibo done that. It was so cool. Uh, Levels does it really well. I thought, yeah, that's my thing, and I started to do that. And I couldn't really figure this out. I I tried to build, but it's really hard to do on side of 9 to 5. So first thing that I will tell to people like that, keep pushing, keep building. You won't succeed quickly. As simple as it is, you hear it everywhere. I know it. You probably think that it's banal idea, but you just have to keep pushing. As simple as it is, be creative and push. Yeah, that's the main thing. That's what happened for me.
What did happen at that time? So you say you were trying to build, it didn't work. how much did you push? How many products did you actually ship? And when was the moment when you actually made your first money online?
So the first money online I made when I created this content on X. I created some sort of very small book which you could download for free. I marketed on X, and a lot of people downloaded for free, but some of them actually paid for that because it was on Gumroad and you could pay for that.
Oh.
So that's how I made my money, my first money online. But I figured out that I don't really want to make money with the content. Um, then I figured out that it's much better and much more scalable to actually have the asset as a software which you can sell to different people on monthly basis. It's the most scalable approach, I think, from all businesses. So then I tried to build some different apps, and I had to change my mindset actually, because from my with my first approaches, with my first projects, I tried to build something very big, and we didn't have AI back then. It was 2021. It's a pre-AI era where it was actually hard to build. You had to spend a lot of time to prepare the project, to build something. So it was really hard, and I wanted to build, for example, the website builder, which is huge project, and it's really hard to do on the side of 9 to 5 when you have to work 8 hours a day. So I had to change the approach and target smaller projects first of all. With this website builder, for example, I created the first mockups in Figma. I started to build, but I was overwhelmed by the idea, and I just couldn't really do anything. I was just stuck. I remember sitting in front of my desk and couldn't figure out what I have to do right now to build this. So that was first phase of my building story. Um, that was a long one, actually. I couldn't build anything. I remember having the post on indiehackers.com where I wrote that I failed because I couldn't really build anything. So the majority of indie hackers have the problem in distribution, as they think, but I had the problem in building. That's really hard on the side of 9 to 5. That's yeah. Uh, yeah.
How did you find ideas, and when was the like, because you built Outrank at the end of that. That was, I think, the first product that actually made money. Um, what was
Not
the difference? Not this one.
not really. I had one more. I had one more which made money before that.
What
That
was the
was
difference between this one, so
Mhm.
the one that made money, and the one that
Mhm.
didn't work before?
Yeah. So let me just so to continue the story after that phase, I made I realized that I made a mistake, and then I paused everything for a couple of months to figure things out, and then I started fresh. But that's when AI boomed. AI boomed first, ChatGPT, all of this, and I thought this is it. This is the time when I have to build something because it will go forward. I'm sure it will work. So I told myself that you will ship this time. You will ship something, um, and um, and you will go forward with other ideas, but you will ship something, one project at least. That's how Lunally uh, was created. It was my first project. It was like Chrome extension where you could chat with the web pages. basically. So you have this small window where you can chat with current web page, which you have opened. Very basic idea. And I didn't really thought I will actually make money with this idea. Um, I just built it. It was really hard. It was still pre-AI phase where I didn't have the cursor to build this. It was an extension, Chrome extension, so it was pretty hard to build for me back then. But I figured it out, and I had that first project. It made $0. But I'm really proud that I made it. Honestly, it was um, the time when I figured out that I will make money with this. I made $0, but I knew that this is it. I made it. I made the project from 0 to 1, and it's now live. It will make 0, but my third project will probably make money. And that's when I got the DM from random person on X that they have the project that they want to work with me. And that's how Document was born. It's a different project that I have, and that's the project that actually made money. That's the first project that actually made money. And that person found me because I built in public my Lunally, the project that I built first. And we chatted. It was an interesting project. It was chat with PDF. Back then, ChatGPT didn't have that. So this chat with PDF was a very hot topic on internet. There were a lot of same applications, but we figured out that we want to try to build it. And back then, when I joined that project, it was already making some money, small money. I think $100 an hour, some $200 an hour, and we started to grow it. And we grew it to, I think, 3.5K MRR. So it was my first project, and that was the project where I actually taught myself how to build something that makes money now.
What was the role of this other person? Because you say that other people came with a product to you. What
Yeah.
was the role of each person in that project?
Yeah, so we had 2 developers and 1 marketing guy. So we had 3 co-founders.
Okay. So that was like the first one that you made money with. You say like $3,500 a month, and that was actually your first partnership, also, right?
Yeah, and that's where I realized how partnerships are important. That's where I realized that I won't be able to do that myself, but if I find the correct co-founder, or I found someone who can help me, then chances are much higher. Um, so it was actually kind of painful experience in some ways because it's hard to work with co-founders, and it was hard in Document as well. We had conflicts. Working with co-founder requires different skills actually than working on your own as well. So sometimes you have to change your mind basically. But it was very powerful, and I figured out that my next project will be done with co-founders as well, probably back then.
So what happened with this project? Did you sell it? Did you keep it?
It's still live. It's still live. Uh, we are not focusing on it at all right now. So just just exists, basically. Makes passive income.
And then after that, you build other products, or did you build straight away Outrank?
Yeah, that's that's the thing. So when I built Document, I'm very grateful for that product actually. That it came up in my life, because when I built it, I learned a lot of things, and I learned about SEO and how to do SEO as well. It wasn't my first SEO attempt, of course. I did different websites previously, but that's was the moment where I realized that I need to use AI for an SEO. So I want to create articles. I want to create articles for Document and grow SEO. I tried to find the solution for that. I obviously didn't want to manually do that with ChatGPT because it's just too much work. So I tried different products, and I realized that they are not really product focused. Yeah, and that's where I started thinking about building something on my own.
Okay. So you found the idea. Well, you started to build that to solve your own problem.
Yeah.
And this idea became Outrank. How did you build it?
So, so I tried all different apps, and I figured out that neither of them actually solves my problem fully. And I started to build it on my own. I realized that maybe that's it. Maybe that's my idea, which actually will make money, much more money than Document. So I started to build it. I built the first version for, I think, 1 month, maybe two. It was already when AI became much more popular for building apps. So I was able to automate it more and build faster. And I had very basic first version. And I tried to write something for Document and try to grow SEO, basically. Yeah.
Okay, so that's how you built it. What did you use back in the day? Because now it was AI time. So did you build with Cursor?
No, it was still precursor. I mean, Cursor existed already, but it wasn't that popular. So I built it with the ChatGPT basically. So I just inserted the code, very basic way. Um, so the first version was built like that. I just asked ChatGPT, copy pasted, and built that way.
Before you met Tibo, I mean, before you started to work with him, you were doing about $300 a month. How did you find this customer? Twitter?
Mm, Not Twitter actually. I No, we so I started to I launched back then it was named differently actually. The project called Content Pie. I launched it on different platforms, uh, AI directories. Um, I wrote on Twitter a little bit about it, and yeah, and that's how I found my first customers, basically on AI directories.
Just to give us an idea, what was the price back in the day and how many users, paid users did you get?
Yeah, so the price was 49 bucks a month,
Hmm.
and I had seven, seven, eight users, paid customers.
And before you actually like started to work with Tibo, what was your situation? Because you have a tool, you make $300 a month, it's working, you have customer. How did meeting Tibo or like talking to Tibo or working with him happen, and why did it happen for you?
Yeah. So I tried to figure out what this product should look like back then. I was uncertain in what direction I want to go. Um, I thought maybe so there were two options basically. Automating it more because back then it was just article creation. So it was it was more basic than it is right now. So you just insert your idea and it creates the article for you. So it didn't have a lot of automation parts. So it created the article for you and you could push it to your website. As simple as it is. And I had two directions with the product. I could go into the automation part where the application does everything for you. Or another direction was to make the app more like tool for the user to create the article. So with the rewrite functionality, with more advanced analytics and stuff like that. Mm, so I was thinking about that, and mm, I couldn't really figure this out. I felt like it's lacking something. I can't find more customers. I'm stuck at that point. Um, and I didn't have I couldn't really push forward. I had the block in my mind where I thought maybe I should give up. Actually, maybe I should give up on this project because I don't know what to do next. That was the biggest problem back then, that I didn't know in what direction I have to go. Uh, just too many things. I was stuck again. Remember how I was stuck in my first phase of India hacking? That was the same. I was stuck, and I started to. I realized that I have to write to someone. I have to talk to someone. I have to, I don't know, do something. I needed another person, basically. So I started to write on X to different indie hackers. I DM them. I DM probably 4 to 5 people. Mm, we had a chat, but no one was really interested, and I was not really interested in them either. We just had the conversations. Um, but then I remember that moment when I thought I have to DM Tibo. I have to DM Tibo. I remember where it was. I was waiting on my food to be delivered, and yeah, I figured out. Yeah, I have to DM him. I rushed to my apartment, DM'd him, and I just started to wait basically, and on him to reply. Then he replied, and he was very interested.
What did you say?
And I sent very basic DM. It was like, "Hey, I have this product. Are you interested to work with?" That's very simple. Um, Actually, I would make it better now. I just sent like I make like probably $400 MRR back then, and I have this product. Do you want to work with me? Why I DM'd him? I DM'd him because I saw that he started to collaborate with other indie hackers, and I saw the opportunity, right? So yeah. Mm,
So you DM'd him, you started to talk to him, you decided to work together. You say something is that he brought ideas to the product that you haven't thought about. What were they? Like, you were in front of this wall, you couldn't go further, you needed help, and he came up with few ideas. What were they back in the day?
Yeah. So before even deciding to work with me, he shared a lot of different ideas, which I really like. And I was excited about it. Even talking to him without working um, with him as a co-founder, I got much more motivated because I saw that he's very interested in the project, and it was the proof for me that the problem is painful. So I talked to different founders, and I always about content pipe back then, and I found that this problem is painful. I have to stick with it. That's why I didn't give up. And talking with Tibo actually confirmed it. It was a painful thing for him as well. He shared a lot of interesting ideas that I also had in my to-do list. So it's not that he just confirmed that I'm going into the right direction. Um, but he was more interested in the automation direction that I shared with you previously. So he felt that it's better to automate it for user, and then user can change things on their own and improve it on their own. But after it was already on their website. And I also had this in mind, but I wasn't sure it was the correct direction. But when he mentioned it, I thought, yeah, let's just build it that this way. And yeah, that was how Outrank was born, basically, the current version. That's when he confirmed that this how it should be done, basically.
So I interviewed Rob Alam not long ago, and he said that it was a bit different, but when he started to work with Tibo, he had to kind of prepare. Like, they didn't want to launch yet. They were beta testing for a while. What was this? How were the months after you started to work with him? Like, what were the next months? Because you were at $300 MRR, now you are at 200K. What were the next months after you met him, after you talked with him, after he brought this fresh idea, after he validated your ideas? How did it look like?
Was the most head down time in my life. It was really, really tough and hard. I worked a lot, and Tibo just shared all those ideas and told me that, okay, let's trial it. Let's try to build it. We'll see. And I started to build it, basically. I shaped the UX, shared with him how the entire road from the beginning to end will look like for the user, build the roadmap, and started to work on it. I was building, I think it was like 2 months, head down work of me building, reworking content by into Outrank. We also decided to rename it because Outrank was much better name for the idea we had than Content Pie, because Content Pie was focused on the content itself, and Outrank was like the action. The new name which mentioned ranking on autopilot, basically. And we started, I reworked onboarding. I added a lot of missing pieces there. Then after onboarding, I built the content planner and the automation. Um, the content planner also included the keyword research. And I spent 2 months, maybe 2.5 months after we agreed that we will work together, and we basically had the V1. It was pretty quick. I don't think it was V1 though. I think it was V01. But we already started to get first customers. And so Tibo DM'd some of his audience, and we started to get first customers.
Okay, so it was kind of in the back end, a kind of beta testing the V0.1. And I think for me, and tell me if I'm wrong, that was kind of preparing to the real launch, right?
Yeah, correct. We've got, I think, 5 to 7 new customers. The price was increased from 49 to $99 because we've been doing much more, right? We now we are doing keyword research for the user. We have much better onboarding, and it's actually on autopilot. So the price was increased. We've got 5 to 7 customers and started to test with them. Um, the the f- the f- V 0.1 was very buggy actually. It was pretty bad as I remember, but it validated the idea fully. So that was the moment when we realized that it will be kind of actually 10K MRR because people were very interested and yeah, they purchased very basic version of that idea for $100, which was huge, and they shared first customers shared all bugs, all problems that that application had. We figured out that if we improve it, it probably will grow.
And if um, a dev, an indie hacker, a bootstrap SaaS founder, whoever like watch now, what was the thing that you've learned from these first few months working with Tibo? And if you had to look back now, what were the things that you were missing and that are obvious now that yeah you needed to act on?
Yeah, the very obvious thing actually right now, just you need a better product. This You need a better product. If you think that your problem is only distribution, rethink it. Maybe not, actually. You need a better product, and that's the first thing we've done with Tibo. We didn't market it. We didn't market it. We actually improved the product drastically. We reposition it also. And one more thing, the product should be magical. That's one thing that I learned. The product should be very good, basically.
Magical.
Yeah.
I like this word. Like how would you describe that?
Um, I think the most important thing that the product should be so good, um, people will 100% pay for that. It actually solves the problem, and it solves it in the way that people are amazed of it. Like it actually solved my problem. Whoa, right? I'm amazed. It's insane. I will pay for that this way. And once you have that product, this at that level, it's much easier to market it as well. So yeah.
And I'll continue.
So once you have that product, then the distribution is important. But there will be signs, right? Even with small marketing attempts, you will get a lot of users who are interested in the product. And those signs will be visible, I think.
So 2 to 3 months locked in, building the feature that you talked about with Tibo. Then you did a beta launch. You DM'd few people. You had pretty good users that were giving you a lot of feedback. Your product gets ready. How do you go from 10K to where you are now? Like, how did you scale? Like, what were the next step after this?
Yeah. So first of all, we at that point 13K MRR, I remember the number actually. We started to build a new feature actually, which was our idea of how to actually grow DR of our users, DRs, domain rating of websites that our users own. So we figured out that the content is not enough, and you should have a domain rating which is also quite high, at least 30 plus, I guess, to actually rank this content. So we built the feature where our users can grow their DR by kind of like sharing backlinks with each other. That was the feature which skyrocketed growth, and after we actually launched that feature, we wrote about it on Twitter. People were very interested, and then we launched on Product Hunt. And Product Hunt was very powerful for us. We were featured. We landed at first position, and we grew a lot from that. I think we were up like 7K MRR after a couple of days. It was crazy actually. And yeah, and at that moment I realized that having the content and domain rating for people was crucial. Two missing pieces: having content and high domain rating, and it was working. And people were excited, and our funnel worked.
It's something that I want to put more detail in for people who don't understand, is that this is basically the definition of a magical product, because as an SEO myself, like there is 3 pillars in SEO. Is the structure of your website, then you have the quality of your content, and you have the power of your website. And how you get power on your website to get ranking is to get backlinks from other websites directing to your own website. And you solved the two biggest problem of any SEO, which is creating content automatically and getting backlinks automatically. And the only thing that the person have to do after that is, or before that, is to get a good structure on the website, which is, well, the fastest to do in all these 3 pillars. So what you've built, it's actually, like you say, magical. And I think that from another point of view, from mine, seeing Outrank on X every single day, growing and growing and growing, was kind of obvious for me. There was like no one was doing that. It was growing really fast, probably from people talking about it, not just about you, not just about Tibo talking about it every day, but just because, yeah, you created an amazing product together. So yeah, just big congratulations for that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was amazing back then, but the distribution also matters. And back then, Tibo, with his distribution channels, skyrocketed it. So not just project, not just product, but also talking about it on X, talking about it in the newsletter. I also tried to talk about it, the Product Hunt launch, and then we started a lot of different marketing channels as well, other marketing channels, and that worked. Yeah.
I want to jump on something else now, is that you built an amazing product, you make a lot of money with it. I want to know, if you had to start over right now and you had to build another product without Tibo, what would be the step by step for the next 90 days to find an ID, validate the ID, build it, and distribute it?
Yeah, that's a very tricky question actually. So it's tough. Building the product is actually really hard. Um, so obviously, I would start from collecting ideas. I always have the Notion doc where I collect all my different business ideas that I have in mind, and I would list 10 ideas that I have in my mind, which I see are actually trendy on internet, and also ideas that I personally think are really good and solve my own problems as well. From my experience, your own problems solved are the most interesting ideas. So that would be my first thing. I would just have the 10 ideas, and I would look at them, and I would just for each of them check the current market, current competitors, and I would try each of them and see if they solve the problem. So that's exact thing that I done for Outrank, right? Just see if they are good enough, all those products, and if there any demand for that. Because if the idea doesn't have implementation on the market, and there is no competitors, then I wouldn't build the product like that because it's not validated. And the product validation is really like the idea validation is really hard. Um, so I would do that, and I would just choose the one idea that I like the most and that I see the potential in. And with this idea, I would just build a first version with all my creativity based on my competitors in 1 month. Right now, it's possible, right? In 1-2 months, and I would build it in public fully. I would share everything on X. I would DM all my friends, all people on X to try it out, assuming that it's B2B, right? I didn't mention it, but I think it would be B2B because that's where I would focus. So because I think um, I think that for me it works much better. Basically, the B2B. I didn't have the good experience with B2C up to this point, so I would focus with that ideas for businesses. Um, I would DM everyone, write on X. Um, I would also probably launch on all AI directories because it would include AI for sure. Um, then this is interesting part. So if I have first 300, 400 MRR, I would be at the point where at the content buy point, right? I can be stuck. But then I figured out that I haven't done very important thing. I haven't checked how my competitors actually do marketing. And that's very important. So I would check each competitor, what they do, what ads do they run. Approximately, I would try to see what budget do they have for that, and I would do the same thing. So, for example, if my competitor run ads on Meta, I would try this as well with a smaller budget, of course. But I would try it as well. If my competitor writes SEO content on a certain topic, I would also do that. If my competitor launch on that AI directory, I would do that as well. If my competitor does it, I would just copy that works for them. I think that's important. Um, then I would kickstart everything, all possible marketing channels, obviously SEO, I would do affiliate marketing. Maybe the one thing that I haven't tried just yet and I want to try is creating content on YouTube and TikTok about the product. Also, would like to actually try it out with Outrank, and I would try it with that product as well. So maybe I would create YouTube videos where I talk about that problem that my product solves and promote my product. I think that works really well. But you need an audience. So I would try to build an audience on YouTube, for example, TikTok, all those long run marketing channels. And one more thing that maybe I would try to collaborate with different content creators, um, uh, giving them affiliate link and they would promote our product, stuff like that. At this point, you need to have very strong product though. So if you have the strong product, you can share it with content creators and they might want to promote it for affiliate payments. So this is very important.
Would you find a Tibo if you had to start over?
Um, would I find him or
A new Tibo?
um, you find you Tibo or can you repeat that? I didn't-
My question is, would you try to find someone like Tibo
Hmm?
if you start over?
Okay. Yeah. Um, I would probably try to find someone. Yeah, I would try to find a co-founder as well. But it's not necessary. It's not required. I think it's possible to market it yourself, but it's much harder. So 100% I would try to find someone like him. Um, yeah, and try to grow it with him because it just two heads is much better than one. So I really like having co-founder. It really motivates me. That's the thing. That's the most important thing that we don't talk about. That co-founder actually pushes you to the to limits, um, fresh ideas. You you know in what direction you have to go if you have the co-founder. It often works like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's something that pursue every single day. It can be like, it's funny, but I was training running the other day, and we were like doing interval, which is like running pretty fast. And when I do that alone, I will push myself. But if I feel tired, I will just slow down a bit. But when I do that with friends, I will always push myself way more because there is no way I finish last one. And I feel like a co-founder can be like that. Like when you start to be lazy or start to want to give up, there's always your co-founder who will tell you, no, it's the time now that we have to work, or he will just like bring you back on the rail. And I think that's really important. Is there anything that we didn't talk about? And for you, it's like one of the most important thing about why Outrank succeeded?
So there's one important thing that is actually was mentioned here in our last idea about co-founder, and that's what I lacked with content buy, the first version of Outrank, is that you need, if you think that you push hard, you are not actually. You are not pushing that hard. If you don't see the result, you are not pushing hard enough. So Tibo taught me that you need to push harder. You need to try more ideas. You need to build more things, more features, distribute it in different channels, do more things. And just it's very important actually. If you think that you tried already everything and you can't grow it, it's often that you actually haven't really tried everything, and you just don't know about that. That's it.
And if you have to talk again to Eugene, who was scrolling on X and seeing all these people succeeding, and you were the one who were not succeeding, is there any secret that you would tell him? Or is there anything that now, um, yeah, again, is obvious for you, but like wasn't before?
Hmm. Back then, when I scrolled, I remember that feeling. Actually, it was so frustrating. It's insane. Like you scrolling and see all of those 10K MRR, and even for me back then, a person who achieved 3K MRR was a hero, like a god, basically. Um, so what would I tell this kid? I would probably tell him that um, you need um, you need a good idea, very good magical product, push very hard, and build your distribution channel. And try to find anyone who would be interested to build it with you, like that. That's everything that you need. Um, be very good at it. Try your best. Good luck. No, it's just as simple as it is. A lot of things in one sentence. Um, there's no one idea, not one thing that I can tell this guy. It's just a combination of a lot of things that should meet each other, and then you will probably achieve what you want.
Does shortcut exist?
I think the shortcut was for me actually having co-founders. Having co-founders working with someone else. That's my shortcut. That's my way to go from 0 to 1. But for everyone, the shortcut will be different. Um, maybe for someone it will be a B2C product with TikTok viral content, for example, right? For everyone, it's different. For myself, it was the co-founders and the correct idea probably as well. That's a very, very important shortcut that we haven't discussed. Actually, it's a very correct idea. You need to have the pain. You need to solve the painful problem.
And the last one to conclude. You were a waiter. You were pretty lost. You didn't know what to do. You had some work. You were working for a customer. You didn't fit in this world. Now you are this guy that actually asked to interview because you're making 200K a month with an app. How did your life change? And it can be personally, but also like money wise, what you can buy, what you can, how you feel about making money like that.
Yeah, personally, I started to be much more confident in myself. I was very shy guy who wasn't sure about anything. Um, yeah, I started to be confident, and I see that now I basically kind of figured this thing out, um, and yeah, and I just I changed a lot actually from that. It was 8 years ago when I last worked as a waiter, and back then I was a different person. I was very shy, very unconfident. I couldn't really decide what to do in my life. Yeah, I built the character, I think, this way. Build the character, and with money. So I use money as just to build my wealth, right? Just to just to support my future life as well. I think this is very important. I become more confident when I have when I reach her, basically. Yeah. So wealth building is very important for your confidence as well, I think. See
Well,
see how Levels is confident. Levels is very confident, right? Because he's wealthy. So I want to be the same.
it's true actually. When you see him answering, like, you do that for money or whatever, he's always answering, I have enough money. Like, he's always answering that. And yeah, you have to be confident to say that, and you need the money to say that actually. Well, thank you for sharing your story. It was amazing exchanges with you. And I will put a link on the right or the left of the conversation with Tibo Maker. And also you can check on the channel. There is the conversation with Rob, who is also a co-maker of Tibo. So if you want to do the whole loop of the story, you can go. And yeah, thanks again for your time.